Welcome to another episode of the SwampTalk podcast. We got a pretty good episode for y'all tonight with some pretty interesting guests. It's going to be just a kind of casual hangout thing, nothing too serious and stuff, because there's a lot of stressful stuff going on, and figured we need something to take a break from it from this weekend. Bear with me, some technical difficulties here. And on that note, after that intro gets you wanting to, fired up, we got Double Deagle Man in the house.
What's up?
And we got Night Strike joining us again.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Getting good.
How's the heat over there where you are, Night Strike?
Oh my god. Let me tell you about the South, okay? And Swampy can attest this. When it rains just ever so slightly, power goes out.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. Guess what? I went and got dinner out late last night, like 8:30. I got dinner from family and whatnot, brought it home. 8:45 walking through the door because it took like 10 minutes to get home. And power cuts out. Power does not go back on until 7:30 this morning.
Oof.
And guess what? It was hot last night. It was hot.
No AC whatsoever. I know it was pretty hot down here, so
no AC whatsoever. You know how much? You know how hot it was yesterday? It was like 99 degrees here. 99. Where's all my 70-degree weather? I want it back.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. I mean,
I know it's gone. I know it's gone.
Just to say, I'd be happy.
I want to be able to complain.
99 for a couple of days instead of
We've been
101, 103.
Yeah, all over the South and like the Midwest, we've been having a major heat wave. So,
gonna go ahead and give some shout outs to the folks out there in the chat. We got Toy Town Inc. out there doing the first comment as always. We got Flying Rich out there saying yo yo yo.
He's here to crash the stream.
Oh, I knew it.
And we got ADXR 920. A new member to the chat. How's it going? And we got Smash Time out there saying he's liking the intro.
Yeah, I may have to get an intro done on Fiverr myself.
And then you got Chris Boas out there saying, hey, dudes, and hey, back at y'all.
And yes, that was a joke, Cody.
Hey, I don't have thin skin, as they say.
Okay, all right.
You can't in this industry.
I was going to say, you can't in this industry, and you can't live in where I do, or you just get ate up.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Especially on the YouTube community. Ooh, it's a rough crowd.
Yep. That's one thing. As I keep slowly growing, I'm waiting for that first real troll comment. So
you haven't had trolls yet?
What? Well, it's
come on, guys out there in the chat. Come on, we got to get all over this. He needs some trolls. So come on, get your alt accounts out. Let's troll Cody a little bit, just a little bit.
Let's get Mark Novak out here.
There you go. I was gonna say, at least BWE ain't on here. They need to just go all downhill.
I've been doing YouTube since 2015. If you haven't had a troll in your first year, you've done something wrong.
I did have one comment, but I think I wouldn't consider that a troll. That's just someone that nothing would make them happy.
Angry comment is one thing, okay? An angry comment is one thing. Now, but a troll that comes on one of your live streams and just does nothing but throw expletives or negative comments against you, That's something entirely different.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I said, I don't know if I'm doing something right since I ain't had no trolls, or I guess I am doing stuff right since I ain't had no trolls.
I don't think so, because I'm telling you right now, even the big guys get trolls all the time.
Yep.
So, I mean, I've gotten tons of trolls, and half of them couldn't even speak English, properly.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that too, because I actually that's one of my background before I even started getting real big in the computer stuff was linguistics, and I can understand quite a few languages and used to be fluent in 3 or 4 languages.
So it's just, come on, man, you're not doing it right.
Yeah,
I've got tons of trolls.
It's like every time I post a video of me shooting my Desert Eagles, it's like, you're not hitting anything. That's not safe. And it just goes on and on and on and on. But, I get like 170,000 views.
You get Chris Bullis over here.
There we go. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
And say, Swamp Dog, what are you from the show Swamp People or something? But see, the thing is,
that's down the road.
To me, that's a compliment. That's not a diss to me. So
Well, when you finally figure out how to make one of those kill sticks with like a 22 or a 45, let me know. I need one.
Well, there's nothing to that. That was one thing. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the TV show episode.
The kill stick for the alligator. Just one
and
pop.
That was the episode from the gun show where they did that I was hollering at the screen the whole time. I was like, you're so stupid. That's like so wrong. It's like I could do that so much better. And that was before I even started getting into guns. Hadn't even done SDI or nothing.
Screw and a short pipe and just go pop.
And then as soon as I started looking up like what that would have actually cost, because it's technically an NFA
Probably
item, the way they did it and stuff like that, I was like,
that's about it.
Yeah. For the person that was buying it, you're talking hundreds of dollars for that $30 worth of pipes. I was like, no,
you're doing it wrong. But I saw that episode. I'm like, I need a kill stick.
That's one thing that I ain't done yet since I've been down here is on a gator hunt, but I'm working on fixing that too.
That's what people don't realize. Gators are all over the South. They're in my backyard. I've seen them in my backyard. I've shot at them in my backyard. I've
seen one within 3 weeks of moving to Mississippi.
Yeah,
and it was the funniest thing because I was coming home from one of the like bigger towns to the middle of nowhere where we are. And you have all these like 2-lane back roads that are considered highways, but folks that's in the city wouldn't understand that neither. And all of a sudden, everyone was blocked. I was like,
and for anyone asking, Night Strike, did you kill any? No. I took one pot shot at one because he got a little too close, and he ran off.
But yeah, this whole 2-lane road was like backed up for like a mile or so, and as far as you could see the other way. So I'm coming from the city, I'm thinking, someone had a wreck or whatever. So I'm headed up there, to try to see if we can help or whatever. No, it's this little 3.5-foot alligator, ain't even like this big, walking around in the road. Everybody's all stopped like 2 car lengths before this alligator, and people just in the road looking at it. And until some dude finally just like picked it up and threw it in the back of his truck, and it's like, y'all just let's go. It's like, why y'all just stopping the road?
Right.
But that was after we was already sitting there waiting for 30 minutes too. So there's no telling how long that they was doing that before we even showed up.
And I moved here to South Carolina, and some of my family were like, wait, there's alligators down here? We didn't know there's alligators. It's like, you're in the South. Yes, there's alligators down here. I
didn't sign up for that.
Here's the thing. Where I live, we're out in the woods behind my house. It's all swamp area because it's really close to a river. Because my back property basically borders a river. So there's, one part river goes through like one corner of my back property, and then on the other side I got a creek. So yeah, there's gators out there because it's a freshwater river. Gators are freshwater. And for anyone who's out there in Europe, in the United States, in the United States land. Okay, the continental United States, there are no crocodiles. They're called alligators. Get that through your thick skull. Because I've heard, you've got crocodiles in the United States. No, we've got alligators. They're different.
There is an American crocodile, but it was only in Florida, and it's pretty much like
it's on the edge of Florida, near the ocean. The ocean. Crocodiles,
Exactly.
saltwater. Alligators, freshwater. People, get that through your mind out there in Europe, because apparently you're not doing it right. You're not learning right.
Because when I was looking into it before, because I used to be really into like wildlife and all that kind of stuff, and like the history of it, and how they traveled around and all of that kind of stuff. And I think I remember them talking about how they like originated towards the Bahamas is why they was coming up, because it was before, like, there's a lot of Florida that's already like gone before people even showed up over here. It used to, a lot of them island stuff, whatever, used to go further down.
Yeah, Chris Bullis, saltwater crocs in South Florida. Yes, in South Florida. And where is the saltwater? It's at the edge of Florida. Okay, literally, it's almost outside of Florida, out in the ocean. Yes, that's where they are. They're not in freshwater. They're not inland. They don't like the land. They rather like the saltwater.
We can have a whole nother conversation about sharks, though, because there is sharks up.
Oh yeah, we got sharks out here in Charleston too. I mean, there's always like at least once a year there's a craze about a shark attack against someone because somebody went in the water with a bandaged leg or arm or something that attracted a shark, and the shark went like, rah.
Is this
it's
for
like,
me?
it's like dinner time.
Is this dinner time? Yeah, and it's just like sharks, people. If you are bleeding or you had bled, you have any wounds, don't go in the water, or don't go too far in the water to where people can't find you.
Yep.
Like don't get in. If you can't stand up in the ocean, you're out too far. Okay, if you can't stand on 2 feet, you're too far out in the ocean. Sharks will go after you. That's just how it is.
I would. I was gonna say I would say a little bit less than that too, because there was one time I remember the first time that one of the first times that we went to the beach and stuff, and something definitely do not recommend this to nobody else out there, but of course it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, there it is. There it is. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
That's how a good story starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're fishing and all that, and of course the whole time being a kid and going to the ocean, that's all I'm thinking. Okay, we're gonna go to the ocean. I'm gonna catch me a shark. That's all I kept thinking the whole time. So we're going out there fishing from the beach and stuff, and like I don't know what kind of fish they were at the time, but something about like that big, about 7 to 10 inches. They was all just schooling like in a straight line all the way across the beach, so far out there. And we was like, you pretty much just throw a hook, didn't even have to have no bait, and you about be catching them left and right. So we decided we just wade out there and was standing like amongst them with them all going around and whatever.
That's
being
not a good idea.
knee deep water. I was going to say you can be a little dangerous, not necessarily being too deep to even stand up. But like I said, didn't even think about it at the time. But then, of course, not even that far later on, he was like, wait a minute, that was basically, asking, to get bit by something.
Because, sharks, if they see a school of fish, they'll go after a school of fish. So that means, so if you're standing in front of a school of fish, there's a shark right over here, and he's going right after the fish. Guess who's going to?
And then all of a sudden, there's something there that's not moving as quick as the school of fish.
Yeah.
But luckily, no one got hurt and all that kind of stuff, and was able to tell the story afterwards. But like I said, that's definitely something to don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. No bueno.
And then another time, the next time when I did the trip we took, that I did catch me a shark. We was fishing off of a pier that you had to pay quite a bit of money off of, but like it was known for like people kept like a couple weeks before that, someone caught like a 15-foot hammerhead shark off it. Like it was known for big saltwater fish and sharks from that specific pier. And so like they'll sell coffee cans of chum and stuff like at the office place where you buy your ticket to go out on the pier. So people's constantly like throwing that chum off the side, especially like when it gets dark and stuff, because of course that's when sharks get more active. And so we're going up there. It was like, all right, yeah, that's cool. And then get to looking down, there's like stuff in the water, like close to the beach, and like you hear people like voices, whatever. And we was going. There was a family of folks swimming and boogie boarding, bodyboarding under the pier at like 10:30, 11 at night, while I read with like people catching sharks left and right while we was out there, and they're all down there. I was like, that's definitely something else. You don't do that either.
No.
And I would love to cook a shark.
Actually, I've had shark steak. It's delicious.
That's really another thing of I can definitely get you hooked up with that, even more than the hogs and stuff. If you want to, we can get that worked out, brother. I know you'll be able to show me some better ways on cooking the stuff. I'll provide the opportunities to harvest stuff.
All right, that'd be great. I mean,
so,
that'd be delicious podcast.
To go back to the one of the previous conversations. By the way, alligator's also good. It's also good to eat.
Yes.
Don't know if anybody knows that.
Do what I did though and get alligator sausage, because it's going to taste like any other sausage. You're going to be I was like, alligator. Oh yeah, man. I'm in New Orleans at this restaurant. People's like, oh yeah, you can get the gator, you can get the gator bites, you can get to this, you can get that, and I'm like, okay, I like
gator
sausage.
bites. If you want gator, get gator bites or gator tail. You can get gator tail or bites. It's both deep fried, delicious. But gator sausage, yeah, they put gator in it, but they also put like normal beef and normal pork sausage in it too. So they mask the gator taste. So you don't get much gator out of gator sausage, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I can definitely recommend not either for folks that do like to indulge in an adult beverage every now and then.
You want gator?
Don't
get gator bites.
Don't get what that place was known for, their Cajun Bloody Mary, which is basically a whole half a can of Tony's in the tomato juice with the stuff. Is like that's all you could taste. I could, and they're like, oh yeah, you can get endless. It's like, well, I don't even want to finish this one.
Yeah, I'm not a big, I'll drink every now and then, but I'm not a huge drinker. So, honestly, I'd rather just have a soda or some water instead. Yeah, I don't drink that often anymore.
But that's one thing I like doing when we like travel different places. I like trying to at least one time during the trip try to find something that's like locally recommended or that's like highly talked about for that area and try their things.
Manny out there,
he's saying known for it.
Manny understands bites or gator tail for sure. Yeah. I don't know.
That's the other thing too. Something about
if you've had deep fried gator tail,
deep fried just makes it better.
Well, the South does deep frying is like indicative of the South. Period.
Oh yeah,
they'll deep fry everything down here. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where. Whether you're in Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, or further west into the South, in the Southwest. They deep fry everything down here. So, honestly, gator tail deep fried, it's good. It's good. Now, just normal gator bites. Also good because it's deep fried. Yeah. I don't know, Deagle Man, have you ever had gator?
I did, and I've actually cooked it too. I've made a bourbon blasted alligator bite. It was marinated with.
I was just gonna say, you said all the right words and made me
look
up. I'm trying to send a link to someone. I was like, wait a minute, bourbon gator bites, what?
At one point I did live in live in Atlanta, in one of the other cities in Atlanta.
You poor thing.
No, I lived in Kennesaw.
Oh, okay. So you're out of the city. Well,
it technically was technically Atlanta, but not.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the city where everybody's required to own a gun.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
But they don't enforce it. They don't enforce it though. But hey, you know what? I live right next. I lived in the subdivision right behind the Costco in Kennesaw. No problems.
Manny out there with another good comment. He said he don't drink any less.
No, don't drink any less. But don't drink any more than you have to. Yeah. Moderation.
I guess the stream so far has been more of a foodie type stream. So
everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to eat.
That's another thing that I've noticed from going to all these events. Most of the gun type folks is also
we're closet foodies.
Yep.
You know,
I was trying to think of a nice way to term
foodie is
it.
an okay term. It's an okay term.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no problem. Like every time, like there's an event that I'm at, I always find good places to eat, and it's fun. It's funny that other people still they go to like Outback and all the other stuff, and I'm finding these cool, funky places, and we're just having a good time.
That's another thing, Cody. If you had stayed a few days over in Clinton, South Carolina, I would have showed you some great places to eat over there in Clinton. Because I took the guys to the first night. I took the guys to some of the guys I know. C4 Defense, Sarge, Obnoxious One, and MK Outdoor Journal. They were down here. I took them to a buffet place that did southern fried food, and they had steak and country fried steak on the buffet.
What?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's something you don't see.
And they had sausage gravy on the buffet. You missed it, man.
You could have said that, and that would have been enough. Period. It's like, do you know how hard it is to even find anywheres around here that still does actual sausage gravy anymore?
Sausage white gravy, yeah.
That was one thing. There's I always forget what brand it is, and I have to go back and reference the video. But Tiberius Gibb put out a video of one of them like survival type meal in a bag type of things that was actual sausage gravy and biscuits, and seeing that and like not you could put it on mute and you could tell from his reactions and everything that it was straight up genuine. I was like, that was one I gotta say.
They had country fried steak, they had fried chicken, they had sausage gravy, they had biscuits on that buffet. You missed a good meal, I'm telling you.
I hear you. Well, that was one thing. Unfortunately, that was when going to multiple events and stuff and things ending up overlapping. So, and then I'm definitely going to be going back next year.
Because I came down with my brother, because my brother was, my camera guy, because I basically, hoodwinked him into doing the camera for me. And, we went to the second night, we went to a pizza buffet that was in Clinton. Best pizza buffet, better than Cece's. And Cece's is garbage.
I was going to say, it don't take a whole lot to be better than Cece's. The thing that's good about Cece's is the atmosphere and being able to like have a group of folks hanging out.
This is how good this place was. Not only did they have their own salad bar, but also on the buffet, they had lasagna and they had spaghetti and meatballs on the buffet.
I was just going to say, that's another thing I've literally been talking to the missus about trying to like plan out how far we got to go travel to find an actual Italian restaurant to get some manicotti or lasagna or any of that neither. Well, and you're like, oh yeah, they're just all out here on the buffet.
Listen. I've got a last name my last name is Savino, okay? And it's not like I hide it or anything. I've got an Italian last name. What do you think I know best?
Wine.
Italian food.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Hey, we got X7 out in the.
Oh, there he is.
Out here now.
Yo, what's going on, brother? How are y'all?
Hey.
How's it going?
Exhausted, tired, annoyed, you name it, bro. I'm done. I'm off. I'm finally at home.
Well, I hear I was supposed to say, welcome to the show for the first time, not in a car seat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got me.
Someone's had a long day.
I'm not gonna even lie, because the thing is, I don't want to bring shit next to
the last time I saw him, he was live streaming from a hotel room.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Everywhere.
We got Safety Doc out there.
Yep.
So
Manny understands guns, food, freedom, and spirits. Yep, he understands.
So what kind of good food have you come across lately with your traveling? X7.
Man, where I start, bro.
Went out.
I was to say, I guess I broke it with the question. I was about to put in full screen to answer, but
you made me too hungry.
You just froze, man.
That was me, right?
Yeah,
that was you.
I still blame StreamYard.
I blame StreamYard too. I don't use it that often.
Okay. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
well, I got to grow another 2/3 before I can get streaming without using StreamYard.
Well, you can do it right now. You can just use my my platform.
Yeah, I forget about
GunTube
that.
Chamber. I host a GunTube Chamber where basically you can just jump in, create a room, and live stream to YouTube if you want. You can also live stream to GunTube through with it too.
So yeah, I'll be checking into that too.
Yeah.
So back to you, Chris. You want to try that again?
Yeah, let's try that again. Okay. So
You're muted.
Oh no.
You muted yourself.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say your video was fine, but all of a sudden you got quiet.
We didn't hear anything from you. It's just like still nothing.
Yeah, I'm just fucking with
I was waiting. I was gonna say, just let
See,
it play
right
out.
about now is where we say you deserve to starve.
Hell no, I work for a living.
Yeah, that's one thing. He climbs up on stuff all the time, and that
Yeah.
it wouldn't be good for him to, have a
Waste away.
low blood sugar, moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've just been having like a lot of Italian food. Shit, Italian food. Literally Italian food. I'm almost tired of it. Like I'm literally every time we like pass by, I'm just like, bro, fuck pizza right now. I'm done with pizza right now.
Hold up, Hondo. Pizza is not Italian. It's
Italian.
American. It's an American invention. Maybe by Italians, but it's American.
I know, but the thing is, everybody here didn't get the memo.
No, I know. It's all over. People don't get the memo, but it's not Italian. It's really not.
Okay, fair point. I'm not Italian, so I don't know.
So
That's the same thing. When I think Italian food, like my grandma was straight up Italian, so I think all the cooking your own sauces,
My
for
father was
hours
Italian.
from scratch,
His
and all that,
parents
the
were
actual
Italian. And
dishes.
yes, my great grandmother could make pizza. She can make pizza, but she and my great grandfather said, "Okay, listen, pizza. Yeah, while we've adopted it, it's not our invention. It's an American invention. Just like how Chinese food here in the United States is not Chinese. It's an American invention."
For real.
And like all the like menus for all the different Chinese restaurants are like printed from one place in New York City.
Because if you go to China and you eat Chinese food there in China, what they eat. They eat a lot of rice. They eat a lot of pot stickers. They also have this thing called a meat bun that they eat normally more than they do the other stuff. They eat a lot of vegetables. They eat a lot of vegetables and a lot of rice, and rarely will they eat a lot of meat.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how their
Well,
diet is.
you could say the same. Turn around and say the same thing, like for most Mexican food that's in America, and especially the whole chain of Taco Bell. That's just like the American
I'm from
society
Phoenix.
of the fast
I've been
food
down to the border.
generation
I know
thing.
what real Mexican food is, and I know what we have here in the United States. Most stuff we have here in the United States is what they call Tex-Mex. Okay, it's Mexican descendants made food for the Texans. That's basically what it is, and it's not authentic Mexican food.
Yep.
It's been Americanized, like as I said, like everything else.
Tex-Mex place that's actually pretty good too. But that's definitely one of them things that you meet someone that's actually from Mexico that has that family line of recipes.
They'll tell you what real Mexican food is, and if they know how to make it, you'll be much better off.
Yep. And that's one thing they don't even got to tell you nothing. It's one of them things that, like, if they just start cooking it, you'll notice it from the block over.
No, you'll know once you get to the dinner table and you eat a meal with them. You'll understand that it's like, this is much better. Why the hell aren't they selling this here?
Yeah, and most of the times too, for any like all that authentic stuff, going back to the authentic Italian, whatever the case is, you're going to be starting with fresh stuff, something we talked about before the show.
Fresh food
that's not real prevalent no more, as the farmers markets and people seeking out that I'm just going to get this enough stuff for, fixing things for today or today and tomorrow, and actually get stuff that is fresh instead of relying on preservatives and stuff like that and stocking up. But when you actually do that and you make stuff with the actual real ingredients that's fresh, you prepare it yourself and all of that kind of stuff, of course it's going to taste better, number one. It's going to be healthier for you, number two. And when you do it enough to where you like actually know what you're doing money wise or whatever, you can actually come out cheaper most times doing stuff that way.
That's what I did back when I lived in Miami. That's all I did was just hit the farmer's market. You'd be able to walk away with like at least like a giant, like 3 bags full of groceries, all sorts of good fucking vegetables and tomatoes.
Absolutely.
Way, way cheaper than what you get at Publix, whatever.
Yeah, Publix in the South. It's a nice grocery store, but it's sometimes 2 or 3 times the price of normal grocery stores down here in the South.
Yeah. But to be fair, they're our personal savior because every time that we see one, we kind of freak out because it's like they got sushi.
Yeah,
like, because
they're the only ones that do sushi in the area.
Yeah, we're like the only fucking weirdos. And I think it's the healthiest thing we can get,
Right.
What it is, because it's like living on the road. It's like it's a very hard, and it's like when we see one, we gotta stop.
I gotta give a shout out. We got Matthew Abrams out there, constant teaker, 3-time champ from the 2-time champ from the Makers match.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to put together parts, trying to get parts for the that Glock I 3D printed. The frame I you saw the frame I 3D printed. It was short on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that short. Yeah. That came out pretty clean.
It came out perfect. Problem is, I have a slide, I have a barrel, I have recoil spring and everything, and I just don't have the rails and the trigger. I need those. So,
yeah, that's another thing. I was just watching.
And I'm not sure which ones to get. I mean, I could get the P80 rails, and they'll fit with that type because it's built to accept either the DD 19.2 rails, or you can even use the P80 rails. It does both. I don't know which ones to use.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of them types of things when you kind of have more options, then makes it a little more tricky deciding which way you want to go with it.
But I've built P80s before, so I'm thinking maybe I should just buy the P80 kit and be done with it, because that way it's got instead of the locking block being in 2 pieces with the DD19-2 kit, you can just the P80, it's just 1 piece and then the rear piece instead of 3 pieces.
Anybody know anything about Boston laws, by the way?
About what?
Boston knife or gun laws?
Not terribly familiar, but
no, not familiar at all.
New York,
I was going to say that would be a question for Joe from Shooting Gallery New England.
Yeah.
Oh boy, man, I got an interesting bit about that. So I went to this Army Navy surplus store. My wife and I like to always check them out because we, repurpose a couple of like pieces of kit or whatnot for what we do. And we went into the gun shop. Oh, sorry, we went into the section where they had ammo, and I'm like, oh shit, they actually have ammo. Oh shit. I'm over the counter and I asked him, hey man, he's got a 9mm brass, blazer brass for like $25 or $30 a box, which is absurd. But I got curious. I'm like, fuck it, let's see what they got. And then the guy goes, hey, do you have an LTC? And I'm like, what the fuck is an LTC? Oh, yeah, it's a license to carry. I'm like, you mean the Second Amendment? Like, no, a license to carry. I'm like, but, okay, so how does one get one? So apparently, you have to carry cash on you for your job. You have to receive prior threats in your life. You have to. Oh man, it's a whole lot of bullshit. It's some of the most insane bullshit I've ever fucking heard in my life. It's gotten to the point where I asked them to buy ammo. I have to present them they have to write down the registration of my fucking weapon or whatever the fuck as I purchase my ammo for $25 a box. It blew my fucking world. You can't buy a taser either. You have to have an LTC for that. 10-round magazine limits. Can't buy any guns that are older. That are older than 1980. Okay, anything older than 1980, forget it. Can't own it. Can't buy it. It's the most absurd shit I've ever fucking heard in my entire life.
This is why I live in South Carolina, because we don't have any rules.
Hold on. Here's all I did. We got a bunch of work in New Hampshire and just drove an hour north, and guess what? I picked up a fat ass box of 9mm for $350, dude.
Well, yeah. I hear New Hampshire's getting some gun laws too, some bad gun laws too.
Weird shit. It's really bizarre, but you know what? Because I was asking him because I saw a Ruger Mark IV. That's like the most gorgeous Ruger I've ever fucking seen. It was like blue with gold shit. It just looked cool. I don't like gold shit, but that one caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him about it. I'm like, yeah, sure. But as a Florida resident, they have to ship the pistol to your FFL.
Yeah. With pistols, they have to ship to your FFL in Florida. You have to go down and pick up. That's federal law.
Okay.
Yeah, because any out of state.
If it was a shotgun or a normal rifle, you would have been able to buy it there.
Right. Yeah. Yep. That's what he was telling me, and I was just like,
it's federal law.
I was gonna say that one's everywhere.
It's applied everywhere. It doesn't matter which state.
Okay.
That's one of the things they've been trying to like push for with this recent like
they're trying to take that away
stuff
from
that
us.
they're trying to push is they're trying to lump in long guns, rifles, shotguns, etc. into that same category as the handguns for any.
So you can't go out of state. You can't go to like a gun, the world's largest gun show called Wanamaker out in Tulsa when they have it, where it's all it is antique firearms and older firearms, and buy them and then take them back with you. You can only buy them there. You can't do that in
Massachusetts neither, since most of them is pre-80 anyway.
Yep. Can't get an AR-15, can't get a BRN 180, can't get anything. It's like it's fucking.
I mean, I've got a Polytech M14, and those were imported back in the late 80s, early 90s.
So either way, pro tip: don't live in a fucking shithole state. That is gun-free. Okay.
I mean,
that's good advice.
I live in a great state because my state senators, not federal, but state senators, said if they tried to repeal the Second Amendment, they'll secede again.
Check your IG.
So,
shit.
So it's funny that they'd say that.
I actually have a question for when you're buying a long gun out of state, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a waiting period?
Nope.
No.
So what the
no
fuck?
waiting period here either.
Okay. Where were you buying it? Where were you buying it?
Okay, so I tried buying one in Louisiana, right?
They shouldn't have a waiting period there either.
Had a really hilarious situation where my driver's license expired right on my fucking birthday, and I wanted to buy a new gun.
That might be what it was.
Yeah.
He helped me out and then shipped it to my FFL back at home, and I was like, all right, cool, no problem. Wasn't we got through all the paperwork, everything else. It was a little weird, and then I went to I went to North Carolina, and they did the same shit. But the thing is, they told me I had a 5-day hold.
Were you trying to buy a handgun?
No, it was a Ruger 1022. Actually,
you should have had I'm pretty sure North Carolina doesn't have a waiting period.
Here's the thing. So when I did the paperwork, it was at Bass Pro. Okay, they had a pretty good deal for one.
It might have been a Bass Pro.
Bass Pro.
It might have been a Bass Pro.
I was going to say Bass Pro has some of their own kind of policy stuff they tried to implement recently.
They have it on the tablet when you put in all your information. I think it's 1099, whatever the fuck it is.
4473.
4473. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm thinking 1099, thinking taxes.
That's taxes.
Yeah, I was going to say that's contracted stuff.
Heaven forbid it be a 1099 easy. Just saying.
So, what's up, Sash?
What's up, man? What are you guys doing?
Talking about shit.
Just hanging out, man.
X7. I'm trying to get like you, bro.
You don't, man. It's dangerous work. It was rooftops and shit.
Yeah. So,
And,
so tell us what happened. What happened in North Carolina?
Okay, so I put in all the paperwork on their little app thing, right?
Mhm.
That's directly
What is
to.
this echo I got going on?
Ooh, I think it's on your end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably feedback. I did all the
Smart.
paperwork, their little app on their tablet, right? And I've done that type of shit for multiple shops.
That's just the digital 4473. It shouldn't be connected to anything
Right.
else.
So the kicker is when I put in all the information, even the guy was like totally perplexed because it said, God damn it! I know I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
Fuck! It said that it was a 5-day waiting period.
Yeah,
Yeah,
did you get delayed?
Abrams is saying this, and it's weird that you would. Maybe it was just a delay on your end instead of a
I have a
5-day waiting period.
superbly clean fucking record. I have
Yeah.
well, I had one arrest, but that's something else.
See, I never get delayed whatsoever. They always give me proceed because I've never done anything.
That's the fucking weird part, and I've been really confused. So I went to the shop here in New Hampshire because I was asking him about the whole pistol thing, and funny enough, he's got a little round about that. It was weird. So basically, he was saying that what was this? I just went off on a tangent. What was I saying?
Yeah. No, Carolina EDC's over in the NC. He knows.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I tried fucking buying it, and then they were telling me that I had a 5-day waiting period because I'm a Florida resident, and I'm like, apparently, I think it was DeSantis or someone fucking signed it into law that if you're buying from out of the state of Florida, there's a 5-day waiting period. And I'm like, I've never fucking heard of such a thing. And I recall, I remember looking it up, and I remember finding something saying that there was. I'm not 100% sure.
Huh.
It's really fucking weird, and it just gets on my fucking nerves because as we travel the country, we see all sorts of really, really cool shit. And if in the back of my mind, I'm just like worried and shit.
I know in North Carolina, if you live in North Carolina, if you want to buy a pistol, you have to have a purchase permit, signed off by local law enforcement, or you have to have a concealed carry permit.
W from Florida.
Yeah.
It's valid. That was the weird part.
Oh.
I showed it to him everything.
In North Carolina, there shouldn't, there's only a waiting period. You have to have the pistol purchase permit. South Carolina,
Right?
hell, man, if you got cash, it's carry. If you got cash, you fill out 4473. You're good with the government. You go.
Yeah, I don't know. Man.
Yeah, that's like one of them reverse state restriction things where they're like restricting you because of being a Florida resident.
And all these North Carolinians are telling me, oh yeah, North Carolina is so much better than South Carolina when I don't have to have a permit to purchase a handgun. I can just go in, sign the 4473. They don't have to send it in because I have a CWP, and I can just take the damn thing home after I pay for it. I don't have to get permission by law enforcement.
It's the same thing. I don't know. It's fucking.
Though I think in North Carolina you don't need, if you have a CCW, you don't need permission. I think that's how they do it. But
W from North Carolina?
I don't know. I don't know on that one.
Prosody in that kind of case.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Either way, it fucking pisses me off because I want to be able to buy cool shit as we travel, and we see so much cool shit, and it just bothers me knowing that because it's like, guess what? Now I'm gonna get held up. Like, what the fuck?
I would stick to long guns in this case because it's probably easier than trying to facilitate having the handgun sent back to Florida to pick it up. Because who knows when the next time they'll be back in Florida because of work, right?
And then I was just going to say that same thing. Then you might, unless you actually know a good shop, then you might run into a situation where they're going to want to charge you more for holding on to it.
Oh yeah, and not all shops want to ship either. I remember I had one shop that was, I don't want to really get too much into it, but it was pretty fucking racist. It was funny as shit.
Do it.
Louisiana.
Do it. It's probably some cracker ass cracker.
Nah. Mega fucking.
Just to clarify for those that's on the audio, that's Smash Time, who is a white dude saying that. Don't want to have another instance of the Crump stream.
Oh boy!
I want to know now what happened.
No. It's not as bad as Crump's stream where he was interviewing that guy from that gun rights group, and then that guy stormed off within 20 minutes because John Crump, is
All I know is Juneteenth's a federal holiday, and I don't have to go to work. So
yeah, there you go.
God bless Juneteenth.
There you
I'm all
go.
about it.
Okay. So I keep seeing ads for that bullshit everywhere, man. I see.
Hey,
You're not originally
not
from
be
Texas,
insensitive.
are you, Smash Time?
do what now?
I said you're not originally from Texas. You're a Texas transplant, right?
I'm a born again Texan. I'm from Compton, California.
Okay, yeah. So you don't know the
You should stay in
history
California.
of Juneteenth and
Tired of
Texas.
California's moving.
Oh, I know it. I just know it's a federal holiday now, and I don't have to go to work. So
As I was going to say that because that's one thing
paid
that
holiday.
kept on kind of like irking me growing up in Texas when everybody would be bringing that up, because the whole thing with that for folks that aren't aware of what Juneteenth actually is, or what it, where the name Juneteenth came from, that comes from June 19th. I forget the year, but it, right after the Civil War, so probably 1868 or whatever.
65, 66 probably.
But that June 19th was how long it took the rider on horseback to make it from Gettysburg, when everything was signed, to the folks in the part of Texas where they was. Well, anyways, that's my point. It was June 19th is when the message finally got to the folks in Texas, which at the time was the furthest anyone was, in the nation during the Civil War. The Civil War and war is over. So it was
there were people out in the territories too. Don't lie, because I'm from Arizona. There were people out in the Arizona territory and the New Mexico territory.
Yeah, but that's like two guys and a goat. I mean,
there was more than two guys and a goat. That's just like saying there was nobody in California
Texas,
before the Spanish got there.
But we're not talking settlers. We're not talking settlers. We're talking about official, states, and that was
they were American citizens
part of
too.
The Civil War.
They were American citizens too.
Oh man, we're offending people across state lines.
Yeah, you're offending people across state lines.
Trying to get those trolls.
1865.
I want to know how Double Deagle got his name.
You have not seen his setup?
He's got two of them.
It is.
You can't hold him. Though.
He's
pull
probably
up
gonna get a picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can do a picture.
Actually, you know what's funny? The guy from Sticky Holsters was on my live stream, and he was picking up his EDC and racking it and showing it on the live, and I was like, okay, it was cool the whole time.
Oh man, he's doing it.
All right,
and he's got the scopes. Look at that. He's got the scopes on it.
Okay, we should put those down now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You see the face? You see the face?
Say, the face that was like the little kid that thought he was getting the lollipop, and no.
See, Swamp Dog, you're pushing the boundaries, bro. This is what your podcast does. This is what your life you push the boundaries.
Yeah.
But talking about pushing the boundaries, I didn't realize you wasn't familiar with Double Deagle Man. He was walking around open carrying both of them at the NRA event the whole time.
On both hip, on both sides of the hip.
Both. No, he's got a double shoulder rig.
Wait a minute. Okay. Were you at IV88?
All the time.
And you were wearing that all black getup with the holsters. That's you. I was like, this motherfucker's got to be hot as shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like. All I can think about is like, dude, that guy's got some swamp dick right now because it is hot as fuck out there.
Yeah.
And you were, dude. That was a cool setup, though, man. I was digging it.
Yeah, me too. That was fucking dope.
It was hot, though. I was like, man, you gotta, he's just
all
about the statement.
Yes.
Oh I was gonna say his gun rigs might be nice, but his chef rig is
And so my girl was downstairs in that brown house party, and he's like, "Yo, this dude's got a fucking badass knife holster," and she's like, "You're full of shit." I'm like, "Come."
like he's got his Honan steel in there and everything.
Yeah,
I've got that up on a rack somewhere. Oh, there it is.
How well do those Deagles hold zero? I'm very curious.
Well, it's the scopes they have to be adjusted because TSA beats the crap out of them whenever I fly with them.
Oh, those fuckers.
Yeah, but it holds zero great. those over under scope or the scope rings, they help a lot.
Really?
But the funniest the most fun I had with those was actually at this NRA show, because going outside with all those protesters, they want to shout something, but it's like
that was one of my favorite moments from the trip, because for those folks that don't know, and for people that have seen the pictures and the videos of all the protesters and stuff from the event, they all kind of centered around a certain parking garage that was directly across from the event. And that certain parking garage happened to be where we parked our car, and I kept on having to go to decide whether I was going to go over there and bring my cameras past all them or not. And Sanjay, Double Deagle Man over here, said, "No, yeah, So he walked with us all the way over there, and I wish that I would have went ahead and pulled out my phone and recorded, because that was an interesting thing at itself.
There's nothing funnier than a confused white trash liberal. They just don't know how to comprehend. They're like, I want to be angry, but
the problem with liberals is if they run out of ideas and stuff to regurgitate, when they can't figure out an intelligent thing to say, they automatically default to calling you a Nazi.
Yeah,
because they don't have an intelligent thought or an original one to come back with in the conversation, so they just default to you're Nazi.
Well, then also a lot of the times when you get them folks that go to them type of protests or whatever, they don't have no actual thoughts themselves. They just repeating what they was told or what the other folks is saying in the first place. Because you watch these videos of the people that actually interview the folks that's out there, not counting Brandon Herrera's video. That was golden. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking. But the folks, when they actually ask them why do you feel this way, they don't never have an actual answer for them.
Mm-hmm. No, they're just like every other Democrat. Oh, some tragedy happened. Let's get on that bandwagon and get our 5 minutes of fame out of it.
Never let a good tragedy go to waste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never let it go, man.
Never let it go.
I've also kind of noticed a couple of people too on IG. Everybody's fucking reacting to this shit. Even some podcasts that I listen to, everyone's getting all butthurt about all this, and even some people were actually saying, you know what, maybe we should give up our AR-15. You know what I did after that? I just unfollowed them. Those people are just not worth keeping around, man. Because
it's also not worth discussing anybody with me that says I support the Second Amendment, but if you talk to anybody that says that, don't talk to them anymore. Don't talk to them, because they don't support the Second Amendment. They're just they're wishy-washy.
Don't even engage in any type of conversation with anybody that does that kind of shit, because
then
gonna understand. And I actually had a good friend of mine, right, who we linked up with because they do the same work we do, and so we got an Airbnb together.
Mm-hmm.
He pointed out something that kind of threw me off a little bit. So we did a couple of days, training and shit, shooting some cool shit, doing some awesome drills, and I put her through the fucking ringer. And at the end of that whole thing, she was just like, wow, I see now. I totally fucking see now why you're so serious about this shit. I see why the Second Amendment means so fucking much to you and shit. I'm fucking passionate about it, man. That's because
as you should be.
People don't get it. A lot of people fucking say that.
They don't understand it because they haven't experienced it.
Crazy. And it's not fucking crazy. It's just, I care about you. You, the viewer. I care about this person. No, wait, other one. That person.
I thought you were pointing at me for a minute. I got all teary-eyed.
he does care about you, yes.
I legit care.
Yeah.
It's got a point where it's people who want to sacrifice their liberties and their fucking abilities to be free and shit like that. It fucking blows my mind, because it's at what point can you try to convince them not to drink the Kool-Aid anymore? You know what I mean? You can't. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
And, maybe there's another way. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm not, patient enough. But there's no fucking for that, man. They're just.
It also kind of goes along with addiction type of things, that until they want, to do different, then until that switch themselves is flipped, then it don't matter how many different ways you try to approach it until they're actually open to it.
Can we call being addicted to mainstream media a mental health disorder?
Yes.
Yeah, at this point, yes.
Watching
because basically all they do is just regurgitate the same thing the left regurgitates, and it's just like, you wonder why these people act this way. It's because they're being brainwashed. They literally are being brainwashed.
And it's the same message repeated and just like turned a different way.
The only media I actually watch, as far as actually news that I actually watch, is Newsmax. Okay? I only watch them. And even then, I only watch for about 15 minutes and then I turn off. Because they repeat.
Yes. Yep.
Shout out to my buddy with Shooting Gallery New England out there in the chat.
Yeah, I gotta pass by him. I gotta say what's up.
Yeah, that's a dude that you was a little late to the party, brother, because we could have used you earlier.
With the whole Boston
Chris over here was asking about Massachusetts stuff being in Boston, and none of us know about y'all's craziness.
No.
Listen, bro. At the end of the day, I've had. Oh God, no, I can't get talk about it. Anyway,
see, he's not happy. See that? He's not
happy about it. I don't like. I legitimately don't like being around this area. I see it a lot in the people. Okay, I study.
He needs a Snickers and a range day.
Wow, where are you at?
I'm like Malden,
Where?
Malden, Boston.
Oh, Boston.
Yeah, dude.
You know what? I don't get. That state. Massachusetts has such a rich U.S. history, and for them to be so ethically corrupt blows my mind.
Oh, dude, that shit makes my blood boil.
So many cool things happen there.
We passed by fucking what's his name, the guy that said the British were coming.
Paul Revere.
Paul Revere.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Revere. We passed by his house. You know what happened after that? People walking right by me with masks on and shit. Now, normally, I don't like to, bitch about people with masks on. I get it. Season totally fucking happened. Sucks. Totally cool. But you kind of just see it in all these fucking people. It's just, there's no energy in that kind of shit. They have no place for it. It's just, I feel like they're almost all indoctrinated. Like,
now, how many of them same folks do you think, if one of the media folks or whatever was to actually come out and say, oh, Trump says, everybody needs to mask, how many of them would turn around and
say no,
be mask free, just because of the message telling them what to do changes? How many do you think would actually still be doing stuff?
I'd say about 84 million people.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-oh. Aegis Gun Care's out there.
Hey. Yeah, I was actually going to put up a fucking post about it because I was just so fucking angry about it.
Yeah.
Thinking, how does the birthplace of the revolution, the shining example of what America should have.
I mean, where was it? Connecticut. That's where the shot heard around the world was, right?
Yep.
Look at their gun laws. Their gun laws are just as bad as Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, Massachusetts
like
ranks number 58.
Coop's got a perfect
when the revolution
comment.
started, you can't own a gun anymore. What the hell is that, bro? What the hell is that about?
You know, you're so right, man. I really, really feel. I read people. Okay, like on our job, I see and I read people. I study people. I look at their manner. I look at how they walk. I look at what they're doing. I look at how absorbed by their phone are they. What are they doing? I mean, I study people and I see it. I fucking see it all over. They're all fucking NPCs, man. Complete NPCs. Everybody
brainwashed.
Everybody's walking up to like the crosswalk and shit.
Yeah. You need a Snickers, bro. I'm serious.
Well, the problem, Smash Time, and the problem is we've had a lot of brainwashed Californians moving elsewhere in the country too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not saying you're brainwashed, but all the people that followed you.
Oh no, it's cool. I totally get it. I'm a born again Texan. I got anchor babies here now. They can't deport me back.
It's all right. You're a Texan now.
But you know what's funny? it kind of freaks me out when I see California plates, but the most of the people I talk to are pretty conservative. That's why they're moving. So I think we're absorbing probably 3 out of 4 is pretty conservative leaning.
Okay.
Well,
let's cross our fingers on that one because a lot of liberals moved to Arizona, and last time I went back to Arizona, it felt like California. I was like, "What you guys do to my Arizona?"
We'll just wait for the next very fair and very transparent election that'll happen, right?
That's very secure.
Yeah. Hey kids, I gotta run. I got an event tomorrow, and
good luck.
We gotta pack.
Yeah,
up.
go ahead. Go ahead and tell folks what you're doing tomorrow for.
Oh, I'm doing a meet and greet. So if you're in Houston, well, it's full up now, but we're just gonna shoot, eat barbecue, have a raffle, goof off, and lie about how good a shot we are. It's gonna be fun.
Sounds like a fun time.
I can't hit the broadside of a barn. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in Dallas. I can. Oh, it's cool.
Are you in Dallas?
I am.
Come down to the next one.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Dude, definitely come to the next one. You got an open invite. I'll put you at the top of the list.
I'll bring the Deagles.
Bring the coat too in the chest shoulder rig.
All right, kids. You guys have a good night.
Take it easy, brother.
Take it easy, Smash.
Get that Snickers, bro. Get that Snickers. I know what it's like to be frustrated. I did a live stream the other day. I was so mad when they're talking about this red flag laws.
Oh
and,
yeah.
I think I opened the whole live stream with welcome to another episode of Smash Time just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I was like shaking. I was so mad that whole day.
Let me ask you, what do you do to decompress from doing that, man? Because I've tried so hard. I've kept my mouth fucking shut this entire time.
Don't.
Dude,
I let it out. I had Dan, the firearm guy, came on and we talked it out. I was on for like 2.5 hours.
I met Dan. Dan's a good guy.
I felt really good, man. Just
good.
Tell people how you feel. The time for us to sit on the sidelines is done.
Yeah.
My whole point was, if you have a 2A channel, I don't want to see a fucking holster review for a couple of days. I want you to talk about what's going on now. There's no time to sit on the sideline. Stand up, speak your mind. If you have any kind of influence, great. You can't just get the milk all the time from the cow. Sometimes you got to fucking fight for the cow.
That's something I need to get. I need to get influence.
But I just talked it out, man. You feel a lot better. Rant. Go on IG.
Yeah. I'm just worried about, getting kicked off there because I just like all my friends. That's all. I don't.
You don't go on there and start quoting Mein Kampf and getting all crazy, but as long as you keep it pretty civil,
it's hard.
That would confuse a lot of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would probably throw a lot of folks off.
Yeah.
They were like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. But all right, kids, you guys have a good night, man, and talk it out.
Take it easy.
Talk it out.
There we go.
But yep, that's actually one thing I was going to invite you on to the next episode. It's not going to be next week, but the following week, Thursday, I'm going to have a big rant type show where we actually do cover a lot of the stuff that's coming up and some of the stuff that I've been noticing and wanting to bring up for a while now. But I said, things just got to a point where everything's just been like too crazy the last couple of weeks. I wanted to do something a little less stressful for kicking the weekend off.
Everything that's been going on, I haven't been talking about it because my show on Tuesday nights, Hit or Miss. I've always talked about all the news, all the bad stuff that had been going on to try and keep people informed and whatnot. And just now, I'm so sick of it because I've covered it so much of it. I need to just, when I do Hit or Miss, I just want to talk about guns. I want to talk about, cool gun stuff. I don't want to talk about any more news because it's just too damn depressing.
Well, not only that, it's a fucking revolving door. Ridiculous. Like all of a sudden, Lincoln shutting down million sales.
Well, they're not shutting down. They're just not. Winchester has a contract with the government to make all the ammo and any surplus. It's in the contract.
I'm not
they're allowed to sell the surplus to civilians. But now the president has said during the duration of this contract, we don't want you selling the surplus to civilians. That's all that they're saying. And the thing is, I don't know if that means that Winchester can just hold on to it for later until they're out of the contract and then they can sell that, or if they just have to give that to the government then. That's how that contract works.
I'll do it and sell it cheaper. I'm down.
Yeah.
But either way, look, the whole thing about green tips, even to fucking begin with, it's not even like fantastic.
It's not even green tips. It's like
it's not even a fantastic round. Like that's
standard full metal jacket is just M193.
Yeah, it's the same shit. Yeah. Well, they're armor piercing. Like
they're not armor. M193 is not armor piercing. Okay, you know M855. Maybe kind of, sort of, maybe like 30, 40, 50 years ago it was armor piercing. Nowadays,
that's what I was just going to say. If it's armor piercing, then why is the new SIG NGSW rifle even a thing?
Right. You know, the thing is, the government stopped using M855 in like what, the 70s, the 80s, and they switched over to M855A1. Okay, and that's armor piercing. But normal M855, they stopped using it because it stopped being effective against the Russians in the Soviet Union. Okay, that's why I stopped using it. So, if it's armor piercing, then whose armor don't you want us to pierce? That's the question you should be asking.
Mm-hmm. Well, then again, I mean, the idea of like, I don't know, piercing armor to begin with. I mean, you're talking about a plate carrier that is only covering like much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things like spalling. There's things like you can hit in the fucking neck. You can get hit anywhere else. So it's like, I mean, the idea that people are going crazy.
They're acting like people don't own shotguns and people don't use double-aught buck.
Well, not
and that's also.
And by the way, double-aught buck is not only used by hunters and normal shotgun guys that own shotguns, but guess what the military uses in their shotguns whenever they go into an engagement, in another country, because we have to go and defend somebody somewhere else in the world. Our U.S. military uses double-aught buckshot like everybody else in their shotguns.
Yep. And the Germans said it was too unfair.
That was World War I, the Hague Convention, and that was the Hague Convention of like 1895, I think it was, or it's in the 1890s. Okay, basically said it said no, noxious gas. It said no flamethrowers, and it said no shotguns in war. Okay, it predates the Geneva Convention. All right. So guess what everybody in World War I, besides the United States, decided to start using? They used mustard gas. They used they used flamethrowers, and then the Germans found the United States that had just come into the war, just like 2 years before the war ends. They're like, or a year and a half technically. They say, "Oh, we see Americans with shotguns. If we catch any Americans with shotguns, we're going to execute them." And the United States responded saying, "If we find any Germans with mustard gas or flamethrowers, we are going to execute them with said shotguns." And you know what happened? 6 months later, the Germans surrendered.
Yep.
That's what happened.
And then going back to what X7 was talking about the plate carriers and stuff like that, I forget who said it to be able to give credit to the quote, but one of my favorite quotes from a Guntuber training person was in a casual conversation talking about plate carriers and stuff like that for defensive use and in your training and whatever. He said when you really think about it, if you're wearing that plate carrier or even like the under the clothes soft vest, whatever, you're assuming that the person coming after you is going to be able to aim good enough to hit you in that vest.
Here,
yeah.
You can get shot anywhere at any time. Like they could shoot you in the leg, and that plate carrier won't help.
Yeah, that's that fucking argument. People always say that, like, oh, just shoot them in the leg or whatnot. And it's just like, you don't have the fucking time. You ever been in a fucking firefight? Like, I haven't.
Yep. I've never been in a firefight. I don't want to be. But when you take a training, when you take a concealed weapons course, they say aim for the center of mass. Where's the center of mass? Usually right here in the center.
Yeah, that's the point of right there in the definition. Yeah. Center
of mass. So you shoot straight in the middle.
Just groin shots, man. Just saying.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's one
I mean-
thing. So
I mean,
Clint
if I
Smith always
have a
says,
shotgun, if I have a shotgun, I'm only like 10, 20 feet away from someone. Yeah, grenade shot, definitely, because I don't want that person to reproduce.
Yeah. I don't want them breathing. I'm just kidding.
I mean, if their main goal is to hurt other people, and they're gonna do that with whatever tools they got available to them, I don't want them reproducing because they'll just create more people that'll want to hurt people.
Yeah, they might not live after that.
More importantly, though,
and
actually
that not to mention, like, the whole point of doing any kind of defensive shooting situation is because something is happening that needs to be addressed right this second. So the whole point is stopping that as quickly as possible.
I'll tell you, if you shoot someone in the groin, whether on purpose or not, they're gonna stop. They're gonna want to stop because it'll be too painful to try and do anything else.
I think in general, getting fucking hit even on plate, man, they're gonna be knocked out of the fight most days. At least for what I'm fucking shooting and shit. And in most cases, it's like a lot of people have this fucking fantasy that I don't know. They a lot of people have like these ridiculous fantasies that you're gonna go against a whole stack of like dudes all in plate carriers and shit. I'm like, you know what? Go for it. At that point, I don't know, man. What the fuck did you do?
I
was gonna say, well, how did you get into this John Wick scenario here?
I'm like, I would love it for it to be a scenario where I need to get the AR out and I need to start, I need to get, some sort of bump fire device on my AR that's not a stock that I can get away with, shoot covering fire. But, no, that's an unrealistic situation.
Who are you covering? Who's filling in?
Who am I supposed to be covering? That's what I don't get about those fantasies. It's like,
so there's just a bit of dose of reality we all have to kind of consider that, in the event that, we may face a tyrannical government, Biden administration,
AFT
may or may not be a possibility, and I never wish that to be. I never do. I that's one thing a lot always confuse me with. A lot of people always say the same shit, and I'm fucking tired of hearing that fucking argument where they say, "Oh, we're gonna fight the military with what, your AR-15?" I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna either fight them with this, or the majority of people are gonna fight them with that too. That's what really wins fucking wars. This ingenuity. How the fuck did the Vietnam hold back the U.S. military for significant amount of time? How the fuck do a bunch of motherfuckers in pajamas fighting up in mountains hold back, so much shit and still give the U.S. military a shit ton of trouble?
Yeah.
And let alone fucking technology available today. I mean,
here's the thing. I talked to a guy who's a veteran the other day. He was a captain in the army out in Afghanistan. Okay. When, during the Afghanistan war. And he told me flat out that, honestly, even the military, the rest of the military today, it's like, if they ever got an order to go and disarm all of America, they wouldn't do it.
Well,
they wouldn't do it. Yes, you have a couple of dumb idiots that will do whatever they're told, regardless. They'll follow orders no matter what. You'll have a few stupid people that do that, but they'll spark everybody else to say no.
Not to mention how many of them squads or whatever that do show up and something happens, how many of the folks in that is gonna, turn when they actually see.
Honestly, if Biden got even one or two squads to go and start taking guns from people, regardless of the reason, okay, if that reason wasn't like justified for them being like a terrorist, okay, a real terrorist, not some made up terrorist. I mean, like, let's suicide bomb the nation. That kind of terrorist.
Whoa. We don't stop school shooters, all right?
Nobody said anything about school shooters.
We're talking about the nation.
We're talking about the nation, okay?
Oh, no. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I get the joke. But
okay.
Someone done planted something underneath the super volcano in Yellowstone or something.
If he actually went and told people to start taking people's guns, I mean, one or two squads would probably say yes because they're nuggets that don't know how to say no to their commanders. They'll just do whatever they're told, like some police would. But once people started seeing that, that would cause a major situation. You know this. I know this.
I hate to tell you this. That's already in place. And that's mainly because the whole vaccine mandates. And that definitely showed a lot of police officers' true fucking colors. In a lot of cases, the government, the governors, the police chiefs, all they want is yes men. That's all they want. I know a lot of good fucking cops, man. And a lot of them fucking quit. A lot of them got out. They retired early as fuck. Even New York fucking, police department had a shit ton of people.
40%.
And it's like,
not to mention the folks that quit, but look at how many like mass firings and restructurings and stuff that has been going on the last couple years.
But you also have to look at how much. Remember, they said defund the police, this and that, and they said that and said that. And then they're saying, "Oh no, we're funding the police now." Yeah, well, you're funding the police, but the police are they're understaffed, and two, you told the police to go out and confiscate everybody's guns. The police are going to say, "No, we don't want to get shot."
Yep.
Yeah, especially after you told them no, you can't shoot them. It's like,
we can't fire back at them, but you want us to go and take guns from people that have probably as much as we do, if not more.
Or like the people pushing to send social workers to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you're going to send an unarmed person to that
to take someone's
situation.
gun.
That's even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Well, you know what else too is the other issue, especially is the district attorneys, man. Especially that fucking one in fucking Cali, dude. Holy shit, man.
What was it, Anthony Becerra?
I forget his name, but it just happened recently where this guy, he was caught he was a felon. He's got a big ass rap sheet of all sorts of bad shit. I think it was aggravated robbery. Another one was burglary. Another one was assault with a weapon, something like that. And then finally, when he finally got charged, he was getting jumped with possession of a weapon, possession of narcotics with meth, bunch of shit in California. Guess what the DA did? They let him go. You know what that guy did? Killed 2 cops.
Yep.
As soon as he could, killed 2 of them. Literally went out, decided, oh, hey, let me just go fucking murder some fucking cops. Like,
that's what I don't understand. Why do the Democrats protect violent felons?
You know why?
Whereas they want to take away peaceful civilians' guns.
No, they want that chaos, man. This is all orchestrated. Every bit of this bullshit has been orchestrated, and it's all purposeful. And I hate to say it. It's like the vaccine mandates, cutting all the fucking good off. Well, I'm not going to say all of them are bad. I'm not going to say they're all good either. But they got
competent ones.
Troublemakers.
All of them are bad that has that word mandate attached to it.
Yeah. So you got to think about it this way, man. And I've been, God, I'm sorry, I got so much to get off my fucking chest.
Well, 80XR920 says they just recalled that DA in California. He's gone now.
Oh,
and I don't know if it's the same dude.
Right? 2 fucking dead cops. That's all it took. Just never mind family, never mind their poor children that are going to grow up without fucking fathers. Dude, that shit's a fucking embarrassment. That's not the only fucking case where the DA has been absurd on not charging fucking people for their shit. Let alone
one thing I was fixing to bring up.
Like, it's absurd, bro. And it's all purposeful. Every bit of it is purposeful. Like, guess what? They just released that motherfucker. He went out to go kill 2 cops. They were probably hoping he'd go kill someone else instead, but guess what? Drives their fucking point across that, hey, guess what? We need more police.
We need more gun control because it obviously didn't work with him.
Yeah, it didn't work. So,
well, you let him go. Of course, it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it was the same part, but I want to say I think it was this one happened in San Diego or San Diego County, whatever it is. There was another teenager that was already on probation for felonies and stuff and spiking a girl's drink and stuff like that. And while out on probation, drunk driving or driving under the influence, whatever, on a one-way street the wrong way and veers over to run over a woman in a stroller, pushing a stroller with her baby. Oh, yeah. Luckily, it didn't kill him and whatever. And as soon as he saw people was actually paying attention or seeing what he did, he started trying to peel off and leave. Another bystander dude stopped him with his truck and pinned him against, made him hit a telephone pole, pinned him against it. Police get there. What do you think is going to happen? You know, all that stuff against them already. Plus, period. Regardless of what you've done before, you just tried to run over a woman and her baby. Period. That's almost one of the most heinous things that could happen. He walked. He went out again.
Yeah, they let him go.
They let him go again.
They let him out again?
Yeah.
Yep.
Where? Cali?
He got I think 5 months of probation at a camp thing or something like that. But they basically let him out again.
Weeks.
Yeah.
It was like 6 weeks. It was something. It wasn't even like several months. It was like several weeks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was like 5 or 6 weeks, not months.
Yep.
At like some summer camp detention center thing. That wasn't even like he didn't even have to stay there. It was like one of them come and go.
You can sit around at the campfire, eat s'mores, and then just leave.
Yeah.
So my question:
you want to talk about your feelings? No.
No.
How the fuck do we have the fucking January 6th protesters and shit still in prison, still being
who didn't really hurt anyone? They just made a nuisance of themselves.
It's not even trespass. They let them in.
When they're holding the door open for you, how are you going to turn around and
how can people who just rioted and they just made a nuisance of themselves, be so violent, that need to be put in prison for the rest of their lives, yet the assholes that burnt down cities last year and the years before get nothing.
It's like, well, we're not weaponizing the justice.
They get rewarded.
We're weaponizing the justice department
because they're following what they're told.
So tell you what, let's just go fucking. I don't know. Let's go back
to talking about food because I'm about to blow up.
Yeah, I was gonna say this show kind of took a turn away from what.
Let's go back to talking about something else like guns or food or something.
So yeah, how about go ahead.
Hold on. So I got this thing here.
It's a ceiling.
It's a ceiling.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it. Okay, what's that?
Okay.
This is called a Leica BLK. It's a laser scanner.
Oh.
It is probably the most accurate and insanely fucking powerful scanning tool out there. Like I could scan my fucking house in a matter of an hour or so. So my question is, how do I use this to maybe scan guns and shit?
Is it a 3D scanner?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. If it's a 3D scanner, well, honestly, for guns, you're gonna want to just print the frame. Okay.
That's what I figured, but I'm talking about scanning, let's say, other guns or whatnot, and then be able to utilize.
Before you finish, I'm going to let you know that that the guys that are doing all these 3D printed files right now, they're working on. They've already got like an FN40 out there already. They're working on a Beretta 92.
Ooh.
Okay, because I've seen a 3D printed Beretta 92 already. It's still beta right now. They've already got a high power. Working high power.
Actually, I think I saw the Beretta from Print, Shoot, Repeat, something like that.
It wasn't Print, Shoot, Repeat. I saw it from somebody else, but he's another big guy. They've also got a working 1911 proper. Okay, so and what they do, and if you're asking how do they do it, they have it where you just print the frame, and then all you do is you just do the inserted rails like you would for the Glock 19. Similar concept for all the other guns. So eventually, whichever one you're looking at, I heard they're also working on a 5.7. An FN 5.7.
You're talking about the 3D printed 5.7?
Yes.
And they already got one out available now.
I know they got one, but I haven't seen the files yet for it.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen the files, but
yeah, no, the
files are somewhere because I've seen the actual physically produced.
So the files aren't out there yet, but again, if you want a Glock, if you want, a Taurus G2C or G3, they've got the file support. If you want, a 1911 I think the 1911 files are out. I don't know if the rail files are yet. The rails are being sold yet, but they got those. The the fuzz is out there.
That scared the shit out of me.
It's like, I'm grabbing Deagle.
The fuzz is out there, but they've also got the Glocks, the Glock copies out there too. So you don't have to buy a Polymer 80. You can just print your own Polymer 80. Where you're not really printing a Polymer 80, you're printing the whole damn thing.
Yeah, that was one thing I was talking about on another show just recently this last week about how awesome, if you look at perspective, it is that, like with the 3D printing and all this other stuff, and even not counting 3D printing, just with the amount of aftermarket and third party folks making things, that you can do something like a Glock, for example, and not a single piece be a factory Glock part.
And you know how I was telling you earlier where I had a conversation with Mark Novak the other day?
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't know, Mark Novak of Anvil on YouTube, I know him. He's here in the Charleston area. I was having a conversation with him on the phone, and he saw one of my videos, and he called me up and asked me about that. It's like, is that a Glock, a Polymer 80 that you printed? And I'm like, no, that's not a Polymer 80. That's the whole thing. I don't have to, cut things off of it or make holes where they don't need to be. You can just print it as it is. And he's like, okay, I'm not into Glocks, but that's cool. That's exactly what he said.
I need to get a hold of him and show him some of the Suomi stuff and the Mac stuff.
Yeah.
And show him Danny Meatball's 9mm drum mag with the lawnmower.
I just need a barrel. I just need a barrel. And I'm considering printing out a Grande.
A what?
What is it?
Basically, instead of using, I've got a receiver to build the Setme, okay? But they what is it called? The American Grande or something, or I forget what the actual name of it is, but it's something Grande, and it's basically a 3D printed Setme. So they 3D print the receiver, and all I do is just apply the parts into the receiver and go. And I've got a Setme parts kit lying around. I just need a barrel. That's it.
Amigo Grande.
Amigo Grande. Yes, there it is. The Amigo Grande is basically a 3D printed Setme. And if you're wondering what that is, it's basically the predecessor to the G3. So you still got the HK slab.
Nice. Good slap.
You gotta slap it. But
I was just kind of curious because this is a very high density scanner. So I was just always kind of curious if I were able to literally use that inside of a gun room, I'd be able to probably get every single dimension of every gun in there.
Well, I think you'd have to use that 3D. You have to put a 3D printer down, and you'd probably have to use like a Lazy Susan or something with a gun on it and turn it around so it would get every dimension.
Oh well, this thing goes through it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to explain it. It's got like 10 different fucking sensors on it. It's LiDAR. It does some really crazy point cloud shit. So I've always been kind of curious.
You'd still probably want to have a 360.
Yeah,
of it.
You still will want a 360, just because I've seen how some scans look like they're using the 3D printing, and some parts of it, because they didn't do a whole 360. Some parts are just like missing where there's something there.
Right.
Cody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but there is that is one of the things that's not being talked about as much. That is a growing segment of the whole, DIY stuff, whether it be the milling or the 3D printing, whatever, is the scanning of stuff to be, replicating some of these older type designs.
And now you can 3D print your own MP5.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the files for that one too.
Download an MP3, MP5 now.
You download an MP5, but the problem is you still need the parts kit, which is still $900.
$900.
$900.
I'm pretty sure one of our Turkish friends can make something cheaper. Hopefully.
Yeah.
or
come on,
cough PSA.
No. Don't ask me about that one, but I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't look good for PSA. I know things.
Shit.
So yeah, back to what the show was supposed to have been about, since we've been going for over an hour now already.
We went off script. Sorry about that.
I'm so sorry about that. I had to get a lot off my chest.
We did talk about guns. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I just need to make sure we mention what the show is named for first before the show ends. And for those of y'all that are out there that aren't familiar, there's a big event coming up this weekend for folks that are familiar with the TGC panel that has happened at quite a few of the recent NRA events were put on by the Gun Collective, getting a bunch of different Guntuber influencer folks together and having one of these type roundtable discussions to talk about things. That event has grown into its own event outside of the NRA itself, including they're going to be doing their own media and influencer range day event to be able to get content and seeing some of the new stuff coming out from some of the sponsors and stuff. And it's going to be hosted up at Brownell's in Grinnell, Iowa.
I actually we might be able to finish up our work here by 21st, and we might be able to go if you still got a spot open.
Yeah, I'll hit me up after the show to remind me, and I'll go ahead and message John this evening.
Okay. Well, yeah, just let me know because, well, it's going to be like a 20-hour hop for us, and I could do that in a day or two.
Yep. I know we're driving up Wednesday, and I think it's like a 14 or 16-hour drive for us.
Woo.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have to do $5 a gallon fun?
Where we are,
pass through those states.
Almost.
I was going to say where we are, gas is still only. They just bumped it up again to $4.69.
Yeah, same here.
But airplane tickets are ridiculous right now.
It's gonna go in. From what I hear, the gas is gonna go up to $7.
I gotta get out of here.
And one other question going along.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
See, the problem with the Tesla and any electric car,
I don't have $40,000 lying around.
There's none of them yet that has solved the problem.
Oh, it's 50 now. Okay, well, I don't have 50 running around.
Because, like, for this, if I was to take this trip to Brownell's, which, by the way, round trip is 1,776 miles from my house to Brownell's.
Oof.
Just figured I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
But
I think a Tesla has a range of
I would have to add, like, another 12 hours minimum of charging time, stopping and charging for hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But the environment, though, right?
The environment when it's hot as hell outside. No. No.
Hunters do more for the environment than any of them tree huggers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
And I can say that because I used to be one of them. Oh, we save the trees, save the rainforest, and all of that kind of stuff until I learned, what's actually going on.
Cody, don't say stuff like that because that makes me want to smack you. Just right across the face.
Learn. We all had to learn.
Right.
Well, see, that's the one thing y'all was talking about, the different stuff about like what you actually went through being in Massachusetts about waiting periods and needing this permits and this thing and can't get this without shipping it and all of that stuff. Growing up in Texas, before I ever started getting into guns myself, and when I was going out to try to get my first gun, I thought that that's the way everything was, period, because that's all I'd ever seen or heard, movies, TV, people talking, whatever. So that's the first thing I walk into the store about. Okay, we know how long's the wait period, or what I got to do, this, and this. You got an ID? Yeah, I got an ID. You over 21? Yeah, I'm over 21.
There you go.
And fill out this form, and then made the phone call, and yeah, here you go. It was like, okay, but that's the problem that we're fighting on every single level, is the amount of that misinformation that is out there that the average person that doesn't know that it's misinformation to even know to be looking, for the truth.
As database or any of that shit, man. I have to
yeah.
search where again, work literally all over the fucking country. I have to be fucking versed and look up multiple different sources on what gun laws are in different counties, different areas, different bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous, man. It is fucking ridiculous.
Actually,
had to point out ADX's comment. He said, if
That's
you run
good.
out of electricity on the highway, do you walk down to the electric station and get a bucket of electricity to
You go
carry
down
back?
to the river.
actually, what you have to do is you have to push your car to Walmart to charge it, because most of the Walmarts in the country now have electric chargers.
They do, but those cars do not have like a neutral, so you can't push it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then you're
they
gonna,
don't have a neutral.
Then it's
You know what?
basically locked.
I don't want one of
you're
those
gonna,
now.
No,
Because when you think about it, when you're not accelerating, they're automatically braking with that regen brake. So if it's at a standstill and off, you're going to have to overcome all of that magnets and all of that stuff to get it rotating and moving.
that's why when Tesla's get in an accident, they can barely be towed because they literally have to drag it kicking and screaming up the ramp, and then they have to like shovel it off, like with like
the one thing that everybody loves about electric cars is their huge torque and instant torque. You're fighting.
Did we lose
that.
him, or did he leave?
I think he bumped off or something. I was waiting a few minutes to see if he was going to come back. I know I didn't kick him. I can't say nothing for YouTube.
But by the way, Cody mentioned this earlier, and we were talking about this earlier. That's my 3D print.
So that is.
Let me put you full screen so folks can see, because that does not look like a typical 3D print.
No,
This is my first attempt at 3D printing a Glock, and I thought that was pretty good. That's pretty good for a first attempt.
Nice.
It is solid. See that? It's solid. So I'm going to put this together. I'm going to make this a gun. But the only thing I don't like is if you look at the bottom here, it's really rough. So I'm probably going to have to sand this down. So that's it for a first print. That's pretty good. And I'm just using a normal Ender 3.
Yeah, that's not bad at all for being the first one. Definitely I've seen worse.
Yeah. So one of these days, pew pew. Since it's a frame, I can do that.
So how many of y'all, going back to the focus topic of tonight, how many of y'all have had an opportunity to watch some of the 3D VR videos?
I haven't had a chance yet, but
I haven't either.
Nah, either, brother. I've been.
Yeah, you should link us to some of these videos you want us to watch, so we can say, yeah, we love this one.
Like, oh, that's cool.
We love this one.
No, it's all good. That's one thing. Actually, at GunCon, I'm gonna and the upcoming IV88 event this fall, whenever they do it and all that stuff.
Where is GunCon this year?
The GunCon is being held. GunCon is being held at Brownells, but the IV88 thing, I think they're doing where they usually do it. In
up in North Georgia,
outside of Georgia.
I remember IV88. They did it in Savannah one year.
No, it was they did it in Blakely. It's southwest, not in Savannah. It's towards the southeast.
They did some sort of event in Savannah at one point. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know anything about any of that. That was before my times.
Yeah, I don't think that was arranged.
What I was getting at is I'll actually have a couple of actual Oculus headsets with me for people to be able to try out and see some of the actual 3D videos, and because it's an entire world of difference actually watching it in a headset versus most folks that have watched my videos have just seen the regular 2D version, because YouTube automatically will show it in 2D if you don't have a 3D device.
My whole problem with 3D with current 3D technology is I've got huge glasses. I've got like Coke bottles. Okay, I can't find a headset that goes over it that's compatible.
Well, then
So-
you need to do what some of the other folks do. You can actually get prescription lenses for the lenses that go in them, to where you have to use your glasses with the headset.
It's too much work. It's too much work,
Yeah, that was it.
especially when that headset costs like $400.
But just think, you can escape reality, man. Just
Disappeared.
Dude, if I want to escape reality, I'll just use my belt loop and my AR-15 in my backyard.
Oh man. If only-
Because they ban my bump stock, but they can't ban my belt loop because, hey, guess what? That's how it is. Belts are important.
What about bikes now? What do y'all think about that?
Bikes?
Did you not hear?
You're gonna ban bikes now?
ban all assault bikes.
Yeah.
Ban
that
all assault
bike with the-
bikes. There you
yeah.
go.
Oh,
Ban
man.
all assault cars
You know what's my favorite?
and assault trucks.
Somebody put a text in there like, "Hey Biden, do me an impression of America's economy failing."
That's like the perfect one.
Yeah.
That killed me. I'm like, I'm literally thinking about that. Oh man,
Yeah.
I might just make a fucking meme of that shit because I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
That shit was great. Like this is
Like,
what.
who authorized that? Like you just
Oh no, there was
setting
a
yourself to fail.
filming it.
He's healthy. He's healthy. He's on the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see when it panned over the amount of other cameras and stuff that was all staged there?
Oh man, poor little Biden, bro. If only, he was on the way to get ice cream and he didn't get it in time and he passed out. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's why I call him Captain Sundown.
Oh, how sweet.
I call Joe Biden Captain Sundown because my friend coined that term. Sean Ponery on YouTube. He coined that term, calling him Captain Sundown. I've just continued using it because people laugh every time I say it. So you know what? I must be doing something right.
I always refer to him as the former vice president. You have to respect the office, remember?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I gotta respect the office, but I don't respect.
I can only respect the office, but I don't respect the person in the office because I saw what they did to Trump, and I hate to say this, but I ain't gonna respect any other Democratic president ever for the rest of my life after what they did to Trump. I'm sorry, there's no way.
Actually,
That was one thing that I couldn't stand either. How they just completely, totally, railed him and threw that, respect the office thing straight out the window, period. Regardless of what you think of the person, that is the most powerful person in the country, the commander of all of our military, the person that is supposed to be looked to by, the rest of the world for representing America. And then you have all the media that them other folks can see basically talking about how bad that person is.
Mm-hmm.
Or now, like with Biden, they're not talking bad about him, but he's like doing all these things that just makes America look weak.
Oh yeah, keep in mind that man has the launch codes. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and they said the same thing about Trump. That man has the launch codes. Well, what's he going to do with them? He's not going to use them because obviously, we all know Joe Biden doesn't have a spine. He never had one. I mean, if you look at his what he said when he was just a senator in the 80s and the 90s.
That's when he was plagiarizing.
He was plagiarizing stuff. He wasn't saying anything original. And two, every time he said something, he said it without a spine. So he's spineless.
It's funny. Look at some of them older videos when he's like trying to be fired up, and you like watch it. You can tell
it looks like him being disingenuous.
Yeah,
it's all hell.
I think it's also that like even like his latest videos. Like I don't know if you guys ever saw that one where he's like at some ball or something, and he said like I'm sick and tired of everybody talking about how we're overspending. That's enough, something like that. And he was getting pretty fucking flustered there, and then he forgot what he said.
Yeah.
Well, he said
That's
stuff
president.
like this.
All men and women created by go. You know
You
this.
know
You
the
know
thing.
this.
And then he says something like this.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international under pressure.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Yeah, I was gonna say what. I feel bad for the person trying to transcribe stuff when he's actually doing a live speech.
Actually,
the stenographer folks.
Actually, if you actually saw that speech, which I did, the guy who's doing the sign language, doing the sign language, and then he says true international pressure. The guy who's sign language is like, I don't know. He literally does.
I've got to pull that up.
That was what the sign language guy did.
You got me.
That's golden.
You got me.
Your guess is as good as mine.
And here's the thing: that's not the first time the translator has done that before when he says it like that.
Yeah.
But I think
I had a bunch of friends that
one
actually went to college for.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Yeah, that's the best one. That was the Christmas miracle.
I was gonna say that was the one when the dude called in, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the Santa
the veteran
Claus.
dad.
God, you know my number one of all time that I'll never forget. If you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. I'm just like,
Yeah, just imagine if Trump said that. It's like, oh,
that's it.
He'd be excoriated.
BLM out there, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
Shit. Man, there's so many BLM flags out here. Crazy, dude. Crazy.
Up there in Boston area.
Boston, bro.
Boston.
You know that they have pride discounts. They have pride discounts, but they get like a whole month. But God forbid veterans get a single day. One day is for all the dead ones. One day is for all the ones that are alive. This doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Not bashing gay people or nothing. It's fucking retarded that the fact that they even need an entire fucking month for this shit.
Well, it ain't even necessarily about the LGBT community either. There's other times
they're bleeding through their imaginary orifice, so they think they have.
And a lot of it ain't even that. It's the folks that's not even part of that community that gets the most offended for folks that you got nothing in common with.
The bleeding hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like you're really, if you stand back and look at what you're doing when you take on that role, you're demeaning the folks that you're trying to represent just as harsh as like what you're trying to say about the people that actually did do something to them. Because you're saying you can't talk for yourself because you ain't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't know how. I need to speak.
Yeah.
For you.
God damn, when we were in Washington, D.C., like 2 weeks ago, we were working around that area. There's nothing but those flags everywhere. Everywhere, dude. Everywhere we went, every single block, every single part of the inner city, it was just pride flags everywhere.
That's why I don't want to leave South Carolina.
Huh?
That's why I don't want to leave South Carolina. They don't have that shit down here.
Look, man, it just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It's just, look, you have this fucking flag that signifies what exactly? Who you're fucking? Am I wrong?
As the translator said.
Yeah, it's like
I'm just being honest here. It's like, why don't we have a fucking flag and shit for guns? Well, we have one for guns. Why don't we have one?
Wait, we do? Which one is the one for guns?
Yeah, it's
like that one.
Is it this one right here?
Yeah, it's that
That's one of them.
It's one of them. Yeah, don't tread on me. But
this
one has been around
Texas
since the colonial days.
Yeah, well, they forgot about
for all you can't own a cannon.
But apparently it's from the Civil War, even though it's been around since George Washington's day.
Yeah.
Oh
it predates the country, but yet it's from the Civil War of said country.
Yeah.
Shit, I want a fucking game.
I mean, I'll be honest. if I could get away with it without having any backlash, I'd have a Confederate flag behind me. Just because.
Well, that was one thing that aggravated me so bad, which I'm a Mississippi transplant anyways. I wasn't from here. I've been all over the place anyways. But
I have
they actually, one of the things that was really big here, which even ended up being national news about the Mississippi state flag, and they finally ended up changing that. But all of that big uproar and stuff was from folks that ain't even from over here, ain't been here. And the state itself has already voted on that twice before like the national outroar came about, and the actual voters voted, keep it the way it was because of the history that it has with the state and stuff. Well, and even black
these are also the same type of
minorities and all that stuff.
Awful people that want to take down every statue because they think it's offensive when they couldn't have given two shits about it, 3 or 4 years prior before everybody started, making a big fuss on TV of this or that.
And not only that, it's like they wouldn't even have known about them, considering if you
they weren't affected.
Their
parents hasn't been affected. Their grandparents haven't been affected. Hell, even their great grandparents in some cases haven't been affected. Only like their great grandparents were affected.
I think the other thing too is that a lot of these fucking morons love to apply their logic from 2020 all the way the fuck back in time.
2020 logic is not the same as 1895 logic.
Yeah, it doesn't. And it's like
that was what's so great about the actual founding fathers of this country is they was actually
they could
look ahead versus what folks is trying to do now.
But assholes these days look back. They don't look ahead because they got their heads stuck up their hoo-ha.
Yeah, speaking of which, I was able to take my wife to go see the Declaration of Independence and all that kind of shit. And all that cool.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
She looked at me. She said she looked at me. It almost brought a tear to my fucking eye. She looked at me in the eyes and goes, "I get it now. I get it now." And I was just like,
"You got a good one. You got a good one."
Yep.
Let me tell you something. When we first met, she was totally anti-gun. Totally. She was gonna vote for fucking Biden too. And we linked up, we've known each other for 2 years and she didn't know what I did for a living. Basically, I worked for, instructors and shit doing their videography and photography when I was, starting up. And then one day I took her to the range day. And then I told her, go on, shoot one. And then she's like, "No, I'm scared." I got her to fucking shoot a Glock. And she didn't flinch. Didn't flinch at all. And I don't mean to try to prop that up or anything, but it's like most of the female shooters I ever taught, almost every single one of them flinched like crazy, and they never wanted to shoot again. It was after that I had to fucking teach her, show her many different things, teach her a lot about history, teach her a lot of context to a lot of shit going on. Then I finally got to show her those documents. I was fucking happy as all hell, man. That shit fucking blew my fucking world, man. It's like people out there fucking need that. They really do.
See, that's the worst part. Like you was talking about earlier, all that real life historic places is all up there in that area where you're at, and the people that literally ask that stuff every day is just throwing it out the window.
It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So get this. Okay, so we're staying over at her brother's place. And he's not exactly cool with guns and shit like that. So it's really, really funny to see her kind of talking to him about it. Her defending guns and then him going against it because he's trying to say that, Boston's a very safe place. I highly disagree. Boston's not a safe fucking place. The people are bizarre as fuck and they're cool. A lot of them are pretty cool. They're really fucking weird, man. We see motherfucking dudes with purple hair walking around. I see dudes walking around like cosplayers going to a convention and shit.
Except there's no convention.
Yeah.
There's no convention. There is none. And I saw dudes with capes and shit. I'm not fucking kidding. Capes. And I was just like, this is a fucking fantasy world, man. I'm not
I was going to say, you get that a lot in Austin, too.
I mean, capes haven't been in style since, the colonial era.
Well, we'll get in Texas, you can now open carry a sword, so.
Well, no, that's been around for a
I
while.
was going to say that's been around since I was in high school.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years ago or something like that.
Yeah. I'd like.
Well, that was more
okay,
than a couple years because I
mean-
graduated in 04.
I mean, if you want to carry around a sword and say there can
We
be
had a
only
Japanese-
one, I'm down.
We
I'm
had
down
a
with
Japanese dude that did carry a katana, and
Yeah.
he had a letter and everything for like when the like principals, whoever would stop to talk to him.
That's fucking next. This motherfucker had a katana.
I mean, if you want to carry around a sword and say there can be only one, that go for it. I don't care. But the old adage is you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, and that's all I'm going to say.
You should, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but honestly, if you live in Texas and you can only carry around a sword, you got problems.
Nice. That's a beautiful knife.
It is a chunky beast.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. One of the things I talk about a lot on my channel is some of the different skills and stuff that are very important that used to be a daily, like, you didn't have these skills, you wouldn't make it till tomorrow type of thing.
Yeah.
And knowing how to use a blade and stuff like that is one of them skills that in today's American society, there's a lot of folks that don't know how to properly use a blade.
There's another thing. You got a lot of people that have knives, and there are a lot of people, carry knives and use knives, but only a percentage of them actually know how to sharpen their own knives.
Yep. That's the next thing I was fixing to get at.
I usually always bust my friends' balls about that shit a lot. And they'd be like, "Oh, let me see your knife real quick." It's dull as shit. Like, you're gonna
where's your whetstone?
What are you gonna do with that?
What's a whetstone? You don't know what a whetstone is? You carry a knife all the damn time?
Oh yeah,
What's wrong with you?
No whetstone. Spell it. Shit. Fuck. Yeah, that's another problem with knives. It still has like in the training world, it still has like a bad stigma. Mainly because you have that argument of like the whole 20-foot full bull crap, whatever. And you also have all those fucking pseudo fake ass instructors that were spreading all their bullshit for so fucking long back in the day that it's hard to take anybody serious about knives.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when I see dudes going like, like some dudes know what they're fucking doing.
Okay.
I was going to say
I'm
look
gonna
at
say
people
that.
like Chris
You remember
Costa
that scene in Indiana Jones where the guy's doing that with that sword and whatnot, and he just pulls out the revolver, bang, done. It's done and over. He walks away. That's anybody who says you can do that with a knife and then you'll survive, they're full of it, because that shows right there why you bring a gun.
Yeah, but in a lot of cases, a lot of people don't have access to guns. A lot of people are scared of guns. A lot of people don't want guns.
I know.
Or somebody sits right up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm 5 feet away. Whoa.
Hey, another knife.
You're 5 feet away. I've got a Glock. Who do you think's gonna win?
I know it's important. I feel like a lot of people kind of get too stuck up on guns. In my opinion, I feel like everyone should learn and fucking try a bit of everything, man.
Well, training is everything.
Helpful as fuck.
I mean,
you never know.
I love handguns, but I'm more of a rifle guy. And you know what almost every rifle I own has?
Nothing.
A bayonet.
Oh.
A bayonet.
Jesus.
And they say you don't need a bayonet anymore because you're never going to have to be. It's not about the bayonet charge. It's about having a knife on the end of a rifle. That's what it's about.
Or a chainsaw.
Well, I tried. I just can't find the chainsaw bayonet. Well, I have found it, and it's $800, and I'm not going to spend $800 on a chainsaw.
What you need to do is I'll send you the link. There's a 3D printed chainsaw setup that you can do. Yes, and
I'll do that.
It uses a smaller electric motor and stuff like that, and everything else, and buy the chain and whatever.
Honestly, I can just get a stepper motor. I can just get a stepper motor for a 3D printer and use that instead.
Pretty much. And you can just go buy the chains for whatever size bar you end up making, because the bar
just get like a drill battery, put the drill battery at the end, and there you go.
The one that I seen literally used like a Harbor Freight cordless drill, and took the guts out and put it in the 3D printed guts. And there you got the motor, the controller, and the battery pack.
I can do that.
But yeah, on that note, we just pulling up on 2 hours, and I think we'll go ahead and call it for this one. I appreciate all y'all that stuck around out there in the chat, especially ADXR 920. You've been here the whole time.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
I just want to give another one quick shout out for the folks that's going to be watching this in the replay and stuff to check out the content and stuff coming out next week.
Manny understands.
Coming out next week from the GunCon event. It's going to be the first time that I do a 3D 360 video.
Sweet. Yeah, if you saw him at the gathering, he was showing everybody all the 3D stuff he was doing with his tablet at the PSA gathering. So
shit.
Yeah, and now them tablets.
Next time you go to the gathering, Cody, you stay a few days if they have the gathering. I'll bring you to some good places to eat.
Awesome. We'll definitely plan it out more next time because all of that was kind of last minute this time because I didn't even find out about the gathering until 6 days before we was leaving. So I was lucky enough to even get into the list and all of that stuff. And then ended up winning no, that wasn't at the gallery, at the NRA thing, at the primary arms thing. I ended up winning one of the new Hollow Sun I forgot what the actual name is, but it's the one that's got the ACSS Vulcan reticle and it's the enclosed one.
Ooh. Yeah, nice.
So, yeah, you need to stay a few days next time.
Well, it's funny. I'm actually going to be up that way more than likely second half of July, and then I'll be planning a trip down coming through there right around my birthday in second week of August.
If you're anywhere near I-95, let me know because I'm just right off I-95.
Will do. And on that note, any of y'all want to go ahead and give some plugs or any last minute words of wisdom?
Check out guntube.org.
I guess I got a little something to say.
Yeah, go ahead. So, and then you can go and get your Snickers.
I had ramen, okay? It was good. Very good. Okay. All right. If you haven't fucking woke up by now, now's the time to fucking do so. What do I mean by waking up? That means get the fuck out there, go fucking train, stop being fucking fat and lazy, and just go fucking run a fucking mile or something. Get active, do something. Point is, shit is going wrong all around, and y'all need to pay fucking close attention to all the little bullshit that they're doing and all the little crap that they're getting away with every single fucking time. One thing to pay attention especially is all the food plants that are fucking suddenly blowing up and all the fucking food plants that are closing out. Notice a lot of this shit is all artificial, okay? A lot of the crap that's going on, there's some ulterior motive to a lot of it. Especially in case is the gun laws and shit that they're trying to get rid of. What are they going to do now? They're going to go after the ammo. They know that for a fact by going after the ammo, they're going to shut down a lot of potential owners. How do I kind of notice something like that? Mainly because, well, again, I just tried to go buy ammo in fucking Massachusetts, Boston, and it was nearly impossible to go do so. So you have to ask yourself this. If you make it impossible for people to be able to buy ammo, how often are they ever going to be able to shoot at all? How often are they ever going to be exposed to that culture, exposed to the fact that those firearms that, might keep them safe at night and shit are going to go away one day? I hate to say it. They are going to go away one day. And it's up to you, and it's up to all of us here on all this bullshit to kind of stand together against it. So if you got friends, make some more. But make cool ones that have guns too. Because they can teach you a lot of cool shit. And they can teach you how to survive and shit. Hopefully. If you meet the right ones. But plain and simple, go fucking train. Get out there. Get fucking ready. Because shit's going down. And if you're ass behind, dude, I hate to say it. Don't come to my fucking house. Don't come
What he said. What he said.
Fucking house. You are on your own. You are your own fucking first responder. And I'm sick and tired of fucking people playing the victim card and shit, man. Just doesn't make
sense. That's one thing. One thing I want to add into that too, something that I try to mention to folks all the time, that when they're talking about, having that conversation about training or getting prepared, or because the same thing, it ain't about living in fear and all this and whatever, and doomsday is right around the corner. It's a matter of building those skills, getting that training and all that stuff, so that you have it when something happens. Because when something happens, it's going to be too late to be able to get that training, get that ammo stockpile built up, whatever the case may be.
All that is we've gotten way too comfortable. Humanity has gotten way too fucking comfortable. We don't hunt for our own food, right? We don't train to survive. Well, at least a good majority of us do, us guys, us cool people. Hopefully. Yeah. It doesn't take a fucking genius to figure out shit is gonna go fucking south at any point. And at the second that people start to think that they're okay, they're safe, they're complete, don't get complacent, because that's where they strike. That's exactly when they strike. The second you get complacent, the second you realize, oh, I'm okay. I guess I got enough food in the freezer. I guess I don't need to learn how to, gut a deer or gut, other animals, and how to section. Learn a skill. Just go out and learn.
Yep. And also what I was getting at, to add to all that training mentality and all of that stuff, even for someone like, X7, who that's pretty much his background is in training, whether it be working with trainers or pursuing the training yourself. But regardless of what your training level is, think about adding in that networking to that training, getting a group of folks in your local area. And even if you out in the middle of nowhere and you don't got nobody within 50 miles of you, build that network of folks that is, maybe it is an hour drive, or, something goes down, y'all can get together or whatever, because it doesn't matter how much supplies you prepare, how much guns you prepare, all this other stuff. Something goes down and it's a real world, SHTF hits the fan type situation, whatever it is, the most prepared person, period, you're just one person.
Mm-hmm. Build a network, and most importantly, get to know somebody that can grow shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. That's something a lot of people are not focusing on. And in fact, YouTube is demonetizing a lot of field crop survival type of shit.
Yeah, I've just noticed that too, and I've been talking with folks about that.
Yeah,
that's another thing that folks need to be getting into now. Not like being doomy and gloomy, whatever. But that's another thing.
You don't have to farm
even
whole
if you
fields,
know
just
how.
start gardening.
Yeah, even if you know how to grow stuff, it takes time for that stuff to be able to grow. If you didn't get it, planted, get it started, get it prepared, whatever, it's not you can't just go out in the field and say, okay, I want to get me some carrots today. Well, did you plant them carrots, however long ago?
Did you plant them carrots? If you didn't plant them carrots, you can't get those carrots.
That's another thing about that too. You notice how I mentioned the food shortages and all that bullshit going down?
Mm-hmm.
I just busted a couple of months ago. Makes you kind of wonder. But I don't know.
Yeah. And then all them things that are actually important, like the food plants and stuff like that, it might be in the news for a day or two, but it's buried within within a week's time.
You guys see that fucking shit with 10,000 cows died from a heat wave?
Yep, that's what I was just talking about. That's something going on right now. That there's actual folks that are kind of on the more left side, but that's like where we are. We're more one issue type thing, guns, whatever, Second Amendment, whatever. You have them folks that's strictly about farming, agriculture, whatever. That's their thing, that is the most important thing in the world to them. That is even coming out and speaking out about that, like the situation with the cattle and stuff like that, about needing to actually look into things, see what's actually going on, because the story about it just being because of heat and whatever. There's other places that's had heat longer. Yes, that is a possible natural cause, but there's other possible natural causes and these other things that ain't natural that could all have caused the same type of thing. Whereas you have these places like Texas, Florida, anywhere's down here further south than Kansas that is a lot hotter than it is up there in Kansas that don't have 10 to 30,000 cattle dying off in one night.
That's insane, dude. That's absolutely insane. I bet it was contaminated water or some bullshit.
Yep, probably.
There's just no way. No fucking way. I don't buy it. But
well, and also, real quick, while I still got y'all on here, that brings up something that I can actually personally testify on for anybody that is news believer, whatever, all that stuff. There's got to be some truth to it, and whatever, or they wouldn't say it. Go back 3 or 4 years now when there was one of the bad hurricanes came through down here. It was after Katrina. It wasn't that bad. But you had places like Fox News, CNN, CBS, ABC talking about how bad it was here in Mississippi and in New Orleans, and how this levee broke and this levee broke, and there's water flooding all these other places.
And you're probably just standing outside saying,
I was standing on the levee that they said was broke and did a screenshot of the CNN thing talking about this thing was broke and whatever, and all these people is being flooded and everything else. I'm like, I'm standing right here. This ain't happening. There's a lot of that goes on.
Did they get a picture of you standing on the levee?
No.
Of course not.
No.
Pictures.
I knew it. I knew there was something to that.
Mm-hmm. So. I was there in New Orleans, speaking of which. I think it was for Irma. That shit was fucking crazy.
Yeah, Irma was pretty
I was going to say, Irma, I want to say it was one of them, because it was the one that ended up causing a lot more damage in Texas than it did over this way.
Yeah. Oh, it was the one after Irma.
Yeah.
The last really bad hurricane I had was here in South Carolina was Matthew.
Oh, man,
Matthew.
That shit dodged us in Florida, man.
it dodged you, came straight for me. You know what?
You know
what? I'm far enough inland. I didn't have to evacuate. All I had was a lot of strong wind and a lot of rain and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, they were telling us there was like, it's a Cat 5 coming in hot. Get ready. And all of a sudden, no.
All of a sudden, it goes to South Carolina. It's a Cat 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Shit.
It's a Cat 3. There you go.
But, all right, y'all. I want a quick shout out there to Richard Monder, our brother, showing up in the middle of the night.
Rich.
His time to hang out with us. And all y'all.
You know, he's trying to get over here. He's looking at tickets right now to try and get over here because they lifted restrictions.
That will be awesome. I look forward to meeting up with you when you finally get a chance to make it over here, brother. And on y'all, I appreciate all y'all panelists coming in and bringing some of y'all's insights. And it definitely was overall more fun stream and less ranty than most of the time. So I appreciate y'all for helping do that. And I'm going to have to rewatch the beginning again because with all the food talk and stuff, and we was talking about some good stuff, have to go write some
of that stuff notes
down.
Yeah, you kind of ambushed me with the food thing. I was just like, fuck.
Everybody likes to eat. Come on.
Well, you're the one that's hopping into the middle of the conversation while we already been
having it for like an hour.
Yeah.
Don't lie. I was over there on the fucking side munching on some shit because I was so hungry, man.
Yeah.
It was bad today, dude. I was right some fucking radio antenna. I was getting fucking fried. So I'm hungry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all y'all out there in chat, y'all have a good night. Hope y'all have a good weekend and y'all be good.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.